What if I told you that everything you've ever been taught about getting an education, that a diploma is your ticket to a secure future, is now dangerously, fundamentally wrong? What if the very thing we call studying is actually becoming a trap? Let's get right into why this core pillar of our society is not just cracking, but maybe even starting to crumble.
Stop Studying. Yeah, you heard that right. That is the actual provocative title of a new book by Laurent Alexandre and Olivier Babeau. And look, this isn't some casual suggestion. They're framing it as an urgent, flashing red lights warning. And of course, the first question that pops into your head is, who on earth are these guys to say something so insane?
Well, here's the kicker. These aren't some anti-intellectual outsiders throwing rocks at the system. No. They are the ultimate insiders. We're talking about professors, doctors, company founders. Between the two of them, they have 30 years of higher education. And they admit it. This book wasn't born from some academic theory. It was born, in their words, out of sheer panic. They see a seismic shift coming that's going to hit young people the hardest.
What they're arguing is that we're living through a moment as huge as the discovery of fire. I mean, think about it. Fire gave us control over matter. AI is giving us control over intelligence itself. But here's the difference. It took fire something like 300,000 years to spread across humanity. AI is taking over the world in just a few years. It's not a wave, it's a tsunami of free, limitless artificial intelligence.
The historian Yuval Noah Harari has this brilliant way of putting it. He calls it an invisible, mass, cognitive immigration. These new arrivals, they don't come on boats, they don't need passports, they arrive silently at the speed of light through fiber optic cables ready to take our place. And they already speak our language, they learn faster than us, and frankly, they don't get tired.
And the speed of this, it's something we can barely get our heads around. Just look at the International Math Olympiad, one of the hardest tests of human creativity. In 2021, the experts said, an AI might win this in about 22 years. Okay, by 2024, that guess was down to just 2 years. And then, boom, 2025, it happened. An AI won. The predictions weren't just a little off, they were completely blind to how fast this is all moving.
You see, for centuries, our whole economy has been based on this idea of cognitive rent. It's a simple concept. It's the extra money and status you get from having rare skills proven by a fancy diploma. It's why we pay lawyers and surgeons so much. But what happens when that specialized knowledge is no longer rare? What happens when it's free and instantly accessible to literally anyone with a phone? Well, that rent, that advantage you worked so hard for, it just evaporates. Poof!
And this evaporation of cognitive rent leads us to a really scary new reality, what the authors call the great human downgrade. The diplomas that used to be a shield are now becoming a giant target painted on your back, especially if you're a white-collar professional.
We are watching the script completely flip. For decades, the story was always, the robots are coming for the factory jobs. But the truth is, AI is coming for the desk jobs first. The analysts, the marketers, the programmers, the consultants. The very intellectual jobs that we were all told were the safest bets are now the most exposed.
And if you want proof, just follow the money. It never lies. Look at this chart. In 2025, investment in office buildings, the places where humans do knowledge work, it absolutely cratered. At the exact same time, investment in data centers, the factories for artificial intelligence, it went vertical. The money is literally flowing away from us and toward the machines.
The CEO of Anthropic, one of the biggest AI companies out there, put a number on it. He predicts that 1 in 2 entry-level, white-collar jobs could just disappear by 2030. Think about that for a second. Half of the starting jobs for recent graduates, just gone. And that brings up this huge, almost existential problem for our careers. How do you learn to be a senior leader? Well, you start as a junior, right? You do the boring stuff, the research, the spreadsheets, the PowerPoints. That's how you learn the ropes. But if AI automates all of that entry-level work, how does the next generation ever get the experience to lead? The career ladder is basically being sawed off at the bottom.
But believe it or not, the story doesn't just end with a job crisis. The book argues it gets way bigger and way weirder. It escalates into a fundamental shift in what it even means to be human, leading to the rise of the augmented human, and a new kind of inequality we've never seen before.
The authors break it down into 3 phases. Phase 1 is where we are now. AI is on our screens, it's an app, it's a tool. Phase 2 is just starting. AI getting a physical body, like humanoid robots. But phase 3, That's the real mindbender. That's when AI is integrated directly into our brains through things like brain-computer interfaces.
And if you think that's just some crazy sci-fi plot, listen to this. This is a real quote from Alexandre Wang, the billionaire CEO of a major AI company called Scale AI. He actually said he's putting off having children until a technology like Neuralink is ready, so he can make sure his kids are neurally connected to AI from birth to give them a fighting chance.
So here's the bottom line. The next great divide in society might not be about money. It might be biological. A huge chasm could open up between the augmented humans with brain implants and the natural humans who don't. An inequality written not in our bank accounts, but in our very biology.
Okay, so if this is the world that's barreling right at us, what in God's name are we supposed to do? Well, the book doesn't just leave us in a state of doom and gloom. It ends with a powerful, urgent call to action. It's a call for nothing less than a cognitive awakening.
First things first, the old model is dead. The idea that you study for 20 years and then you work for 40, it's over, finished. Schooling is not a phase you go through anymore. Learning has to be a constant, lifelong process. A diploma is not security. Your ability to adapt, to learn and unlearn, that is the new security. Curiosity isn't a hobby. It has to become a way of life.
And it all comes down to this one single imperative. This is the core message of the book, and really the most important thing to take away from all this. In a world that's changing exponentially, the only way to survive, the only way to thrive, is to make sure your own learning curve is even steeper. You have to learn faster than the world changes.
So we're left with this final, really challenging question. The old world is fading away, and this cognitive awakening is happening right now, with or without us. So the only question left to ask is, are you ready for it? If this deep dive opened your eyes, then please help spread the word. Subscribe to the channel, share this with someone who really needs to hear this, and most important of all, I want you to join the conversation. Drop a comment below and tell us, what are you doing to prepare for this completely new era?